All right, this pandemic is taking a troubling toll on America's children. The CDC says the number of pediatric emergency room mental health visits have risen significantly since April of last year. And President Joe Biden's nominee for U.S. Surgeon General, Dr. Vivek Murthy, says there are also other concerning signs.
The rise in depression and anxiety and suicide that we've seen during this pandemic have been staggering and deeply concerning, because even before the pandemic, we were struggling with a very, very high rate of mental illness, including among our children.
All right, joining us right now, wellness expert Mallika Chopra. She's the author of the new book, Just Be You, an illustrated guide empowering kids and their parents, of course, through meditation. She's also the daughter of author Deepak Chopra. Mallika, good to see you.
Thank you for having me.
So this isn't your first book that you've written for kids, but what prompted this one?
I grew up with my father, Deepak Chopra, who taught us how to meditate when I was 9. So I'm a lifelong meditator. And I am also a parent of an 18-year-old and 16-year-old. And what I have seen even before the pandemic was the level of anxiety and stress that our kids face. So my goal as a parent and as an educator is to share tools with kids and the parents who love them on meditation, mindfulness, but also social and emotional knowing, and ultimately self-reflection. And that's what this book is about, self-reflection.
So you've been doing this, being mindful, meditating, since you were really young. So how do we introduce our kids who perhaps haven't had that kind of exposure? How do you introduce them to the idea? Because it's tough verbally trying to convince your kids, maybe meditating would be good.
Yes, so my first piece of advice to parents and teachers is think about your own practice. So do you practice something? And it can be as simple as taking a deep breath, just a deep breath in and out. So just pausing helps us. And then we can expand it from that to 3 breaths or 4 breaths or body awareness exercises. So the goal with the books that I've written is to give really simple exercises that can be 1 minute or less, as well as now on the Chopra app, we're presenting meditations for kids as well. Everything from grounding, being in nature, having a mindful meal. So meditation doesn't have to be something that's daunting and overwhelming. It really can start really simple.
Oh, I love that. And I talked to your dad recently about the whole, meditation, how you get started. And, a lot of people think it means thinking of nothing, but he said, no, that's not it at all. It really is about being centered and paying attention to your breathing and finding the things that bring you pleasure.
Yes, it's a misconception. We can't empty our mind. So I think people get overwhelmed with the thought of meditation because they say, oh, I can't settle it down. All we're doing is we're just slowing down our breath, slowing down our thoughts, and getting more centered and anchored. And I think that's the goal with this book as well, is that we also need to remember it's not just about slowing our breath, but ultimately it's helping kids feel empowered in who they are, in defining their story and being confident. And I think as we get out of the pandemic now, kids are going to go back to school. There's going to be change of even the routines that they've had at home. There's so much uncertainty. So the more tools we can give kids, the better.
Yeah, still a lot of anxiety that they're going to be facing. So Dr. Vivek Murthy says researchers need to study how this pandemic has affected kids so the right strategies can be implemented to address the fallout. Where do you think a good start is going to be?
I think it's a very monumental problem, and thank God professionals like Dr. Murthy are leading this. He has talked a lot about loneliness. I think just watching my kids also, that reconnecting with people and what does that mean is something that's very important. But also just when they're anchored in themselves, then with all of the uncertainty in the world, I think it helps. So we need to do a lot of research and put a lot of effort, and also support the teachers and other caregivers who are helping our kids as parents along with us get through this journey.
Oh boy, and we're all in this journey together, that is for sure. Mallika Chopra, thank you so much. Great talking to you.